Hi, welcome back to math. Aren't you glad to be back? Well, last week, remember we learned about tally marks. So get your whiteboard. You got your whiteboard and your pen and eraser. I'm going to tell you a number and I want you to make that many tally marks. Are you ready? It's going to be like a little warm up. So make tally marks for the number 6. And while you do it, I'm going to do it, okay? Okay, you ready? Pause me. Don't flip me over until you got it. Does your number 6 look like this? Because remember, if you have 5, it looks like this, right? You have 4 and then you make the slash through and you know you have 5 and then one more is 6. But I want to tell you that 5, let's write it in an equation. 5 plus 1 equals 6, right? That's your equation for that. And we're going to talk about addition today and different ways to add one at the same number. So let's do tally marks for the number 8. Did you do that? So you have 5, 6, 7, 8. Or what would the equation be? 5 plus 3, 1, 2, 3 equals 8. Okay, so today we're going to learn about adding numbers. We're going to learn a little bit more about that. We just saw that if you add two sets of tally marks that you can make an equation for a number, because I shouted a number out and then you made your tally marks and then you could do an equation. But right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to shout a number out and you've gotten your two different kinds of things to count with and tally marks. You're going to do two different ways of adding. So the way we're going to do this is I'm going to roll the dice. Oh, that won't work. And we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, what I want you to do is do two different ways to make 5. So you could do a lot of things that way. You could do 1, 2, 3 cubes and 1, 2, 3 cubes, 4, 5, and 2 crayons, right? And that would make 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And your equation would be 3 cubes plus 2 crayons equals 5 things all together. Yeah. Okay, what's one other way you could do 5? You could do 1, you could do tally marks 2, 3, 4, 5. So you could do 5 tally marks plus 0 tally marks equals 5 tally marks all together. That's 2 ways of doing the number 5. Okay, now I just showed you how to do that. Now I'm going to roll a number and I'm going to have you pause me and I'm going to have you make that number in cubes and crayons, or if you have cars and pebbles. But I want you to make 2 different things to get to that one different number. So I'm going to roll the dice. And I see 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so count out one kind of one thing and one kind of another thing to make 4. So pause me and do that. I'm going to do it too. Pause me. Okay, Now that you've paused me, I'm going to show you that I did 3 cubes and 1 crayon. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So what's my equation going to be? 3 cubes plus 1 crayon equals 4 things all together. All right, now what's another way I could do 4? Let's see. I could take a cube away and add a crayon. So I would have 2 crayons plus 2 cubes equals 4 things all together. You guys get the picture now? Do you see what I'm saying? So now what I want you to do is I'm going to roll the dice and I'm going to, and then you're going to pause me and you're going to make equations. You're going to make that number add up with things in 2 different ways. So I'm going to do that 3 times, okay? So if I roll a 2, you would say I'm going to make 2 plus 0 or 1 plus 1, and you would write it out, right? Equals 2 things all together. Okay, so this is kind of confusing, but I want you to learn that you can add things together, and I want you to see that you can add things together in more than one way, and it can still be the same number. So here we go. I'm going to roll this dice, then you're going to pause me and make 2 different ways to add this number. Oh, we already did that 4. Nope, I'm not. Here's 3. So I want you to make 3 in 2 different ways. So pause me and do that, okay? Okay, now we just got that one. Keep doing 3. Oh, here's 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now pause me and make 6 in 2 different ways. Put some of one thing together with some of another thing together to make 6 all together. Then do it again. Put some of one thing together and some of another thing together to make 6 all together. Okay, one more. Okay, here's 5. So now I want you to pause me and put some of one thing together and some of another thing together to make 5 all together. And then I want you to do that again, putting some of one thing together and some of another thing together, making 5 all together. You could do 4 things plus 1 thing, and that would be 5 things. You could do 5 things plus 0 things. You could do 2 things plus 3 things. There's a lot of ways to do that. Okay, and then that's what you get to do for today. And then when you do that, you'll write the equation, like say you put 2 things and 3 things together to make 5, then you would write 2 plus 2 crayons plus 3 cubes equals 5 things all together. Okay, now for a challenge, if you want to, get your dice out and roll it and do a few more of those. But every time you roll a number, try to make it go together, some of things in one thing and some things of another thing in 2 different ways. Oh, have fun. Let me know how it goes.